Life's been wild. I'm sure it's been wild for all of you out there. We're all dealing with all kinds of weird stuff, and it's really good to escape. Think about better times, you know? And for me, better times are my youth, where I really developed my love of video games. And the first console I really got a real good grasp on is the N64. By the time the N64 came out, Nintendo had already been the top dog in the gaming sphere for the last, let's say 20 years. But they were facing competition like they had never faced before. In the early 90s, Sega really established itself as being the cool kids console. And then Nintendo had a few other competitors down the pipe, with Sony getting into the game with the PlayStation 1. I stumbled across this advertisement for the Nintendo 64 from before it was released, and you could really tell that Nintendo was trying to grasp onto that radical, extreme 90s feel. Let's see how Nintendo chose to really show off what this console can do. We'll just have to push this tape right in and then we're off.
On June 23rd, 1996, N64 was released in Japan. The results were nothing less than phenomenal. Within hours, over 500,000 systems cleared the shelves.
I really like what they're choosing to do here with the countdown. I love how it goes from 8 to 16 to 32 to 64. I don't know why it's that kind of a doubling of the number before is the concept that they were going with the bit race, the race for bits. I don't even know really what a bit is to this day, and I was thinking about looking it up right before this video, but sometimes you gotta leave some mystery in life, like sometimes old unknowns elude you to keep the magic alive. You know what I mean? Already starting off super radical, like change the system, like it's stuff we're dealing with right now. It's stuff we were dealing with in the 90s. It's stuff we're always going to be dealing with. Change the system. But instead of a sweeping political change, they're kind of just talking about getting, N64 instead of a PS1 or a Sega Saturn. So this is my favorite part about this video. They bring in 3 experts in their fields to come in and test out the hardware in a definitely not scripted way. I like how the sister from Doug is what has driven them to Nintendo headquarters in Seattle. I'm guessing that's where this is. This might be in the demilitarized zone in Seattle right here. I can only assume that is pronounced David Checkle or Chisel or Chisel. Try to give me your best phonic pronunciation in the comments below. AKA quick finger. I hope it's not too quick, It really makes me confused why they would need a martial arts and sports master. So he's a martial arts master and a sports master. I didn't know you can get like a black belt in sports. But what does this have to do with Nintendo? Is what I'm trying to find out. What does this have to do with video gaming in general? This gentleman right here, which I can only assume is Beto O'Rourke's either younger or older brother. Not just by last name, but look, and a lot of people like to name all their kids the first letter. Beto's his real name, right? I'm a big fan of this guy's nickname, Extended Play. I like it a lot more than the Speedy nickname that was given to the gentleman before. I don't really know how you become an action and adventure expert. I mean, like, when I think of an action expert, I can only think of like Sylvester Stallone, and then like an adventure expert, it's like what do you like Marco Polo or like, you know, like Magellan or something? Like, I can only imagine what the hell that's supposed to be. And last but not least, we have our boy here, Steve Greaves, aka Game Face, who has no other defining qualities. He looks definitely to be the youngest of the group, if I could guess, and his qualities are his credentials really are merely ellipsis, unbeatable. I guess when you are unbeatable, like, what more do you have to say about being unbeatable? But don't get in Game Face's way. I would just say he's unbeatable, unstoppable. I'm sure that goes past video games. I'm sure that's in every aspect of life, especially hand-to-hand combat. Secretary. This is exactly what it's like in Nintendo. You walk into the front door, there's an empty room with one solitary pop-up desk. The woman having a clipboard that is see-through is a nice touch as well. Can we talk about that lava lamp real quick? They're like, you know what, this set is missing something. We need to make it something that is in tune with kids in the 90s. A lava lamp.
No other system can match. 360-degree viewing, 3-dimensional graphic interpretations, anti-aliasing for crisp graphics, and too many other things that are just going to blow your mind. Welcome to N64.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Jesus Christ.
Your journey begins this way, and from this way we go that way.
It would appear that Game Face has totally left the group. I need someone's eye on Game Face immediately, please.
So, I understand you're here to find out about the Nintendo 64.
Don't even mess with me with that hair flip right now. As if I needed to be more impressed that you work for Nintendo. Like, when people say my dad works for Nintendo, when you're a kid and someone kid is bragging at recess, this is the dad they're talking about. Like, this is the guy right here. Look at that
Nintendo
flow.
64, we call it that because it happens to be the world's first 64-bit hardware.
Hold up. Are we leaving the Atari Jaguar out of the conversation right now?
Outside of a big castle. Now, if I take the control stick and I just move it a little bit, you notice that Mario starts to tiptoe. I move it a little bit farther, Mario starts this kind of slow walk. Crank it and he goes full-out sprint. Whip it in circles. Full 360-degree control. 360!
360!
That's where most of the levels are.
Go, little man, go.
Whee!
What kind of skills do you have, little man?
Now that I'm inside of the castle, before I go show you a level, I'd like to show you some of the cool things that Mario can do. Now, I'm sure you've seen traditional Mario games. You know that Mario can do things like climb and jump on enemies, but now Mario's got some stunts.
Check out Mario, man, doing those backflips.
I push the Z and then push jump. Whee! Mario does a layout double backflip. If I like run along, push Z jump, whoa, Mario jumps a mile.
Oh, look at that. Did you see him climb?
I'll say it again. Can we please get eyes on Game Face right now? Where is he going?
This is cool. I'm not going to go all the way through this level, but I just want to show you some of the cool things you can do in here.
Give him a toss, man. He ain't nothing.
Anyway, I think I can go on for about the next 20 hours telling you about Mario 64, but I think it's time we move on to Armand, who's going to show you Pilot Wings.
That was so rad where he spills the paint. Oh my god, I need to see that again.
Done a crash course in Technobabble 101. It's time to talk fun.
Yo, wait up. He plays video games for a living? That's not possible. I don't believe it. What is Game Face up to? Why isn't he going along? How have they not noticed that he is not in the party? What is up with that? How have they not figured that out yet?
Swoop just like that, just like that.
When you're going in for the landing, you want to use your A button, or commonly known as the blue button.
Oh yeah, the A button on a Nintendo controller. You know, more commonly known as the blue button. Because tons of Nintendo controllers have blue A buttons. He's out here saying A button like it's a industry term. Like that's like deep in Nintendo. Oh, you know, here in Nintendo headquarters we call it the A button, but you'd probably call it the blue button, you know, because you're not in the industry. Another thing I really like about this video is they don't hesitate to show people being bad at the video games. It definitely doesn't, like, these games look like they're pretty much done. A lot of times you'll see a demo of a game and they're following a predetermined path so the game doesn't glitch out. I don't know if they tried to inject like a amateur perspective on it, but these guys are not good at Pilot Wings. Terrifying.
Well, I guess you two guys are here to see Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Sturchy, man. He also plays games for a living? Yeah, I bet. I mean, it doesn't look like he's growing a mustache for a living, that's for sure. I feel like the director in this could have really told Henry to enunciate a little bit better, you know? Old Henry's got a case of the marble mouth. You know, it sounds like he's got a bunch of marbles in his mouth when he talks.
You actually fly in a spaceship. You ride a swoop bike, which is kind of like a big speeder bike across the land. And one of the coolest parts in the game that I really like is these big walker guys.
They have not shown game face in a while.
You can actually fly around them and wrap them up with a tow hitch. And you can circle them just like in the movie. And then you can trip them up. Love that part. Here I can go anywhere I want and look at things. I can search the walls and stuff and find hidden items. Well, that's just some of Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Whoa, those are 3 great games.
We've only scraped the surface.
Dude,
There's
me
more.
and the boys right here. This is how you hang out right here. Who would mess with this? You want, you know, see these guys. Who would mess with that? Then we get some lovely credits and a little shout out to Nintendo Power, which I really love Nintendo Power. There must have been some kids that didn't think it was over and wanted to stick around for the Marvel Universe style ending of this commercial.
You still want more?
And all the extended trailer literally does is advertise for Killer Instinct, which is a great fighting game, don't get me wrong, but the N64 is not known for its fighting games. Overall, I have to say that this is probably something that would have excited me for getting an N64. I think if I was a little bit older when the N64 came out, I would have maybe had a little bit more pressure on the folks to get me one, but it's still probably one of my favorite consoles, if not my favorite console of all time, but it's definitely not due to advertising like this. Guys, I'm working on making more videos. Sorry I've neglected you all, but I'm definitely going to be working on making it more of a priority. So if you like this, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, give me a comment on how I'm doing. I'm a little rusty, so throw me a bone here, okay? Thanks, guys.